11:32, almost 11:33, Sunday, August 8th, 2021. And I made sure to turn off the filter. It's just the grayscale. There's no beauty effect. I hit them hard recently. Not exactly sure how or where. Been doing the same thing I've been doing since 2016 when this whole thing started. But I'd say for the last week or so, they've been hitting me with force. Just non-stop propaganda talkers, or Team Mysterio, if you will. I'm going to say about 20 minutes ago, there was this snarky couple, quiet as mice on the trail way down there. So I'm not on the trail. Like, it's quite a distance, actually. I'm pretty far up the hill. But they seem to have already marked out the little gap of space where I'm at. So they hold their breath and don't say anything. But then they got up on the trail way over there. And this is this annoying thing that I got to go ahead and highlight, hopefully stamp it out. But we got to backtrack just a second. I was watching a TV show with one of the Wayans brothers. Got nothing against you guys. You guys are awesome. But it was with Major Payne, and he was with his wife at a restaurant. And they had a problem with the waiter. And so what they did to get back at him was like to say weird mumbly shit under their breath. And the waiter would turn around all concerned, like, wait, excuse me? Can I help you? Like, what did I do? Like, he couldn't understand, what they were doing. And I don't understand it either. But this whole snarky thing cowards do, where they, like, bring their dog within 100 yards of me. And then they turn around and they usually put their finger out, which is how I know they're acting. But they put their finger out and they start scolding their dog all harshly, trying to talk in my direction. Sit down, stay, all hard. And sometimes it prompts me to like open my mouth and say something. It's like, yo, why are you talking to the dog like that? And other times I'm like, yo, you trying to talk to me like that? No, I'm just talking to my dog, bro. But it's that snarky, passive-aggressive, backbitey bullshit. And if I don't call it out, then they go around town saying you can say whatever you want to him and he won't do anything. But the second I do anything at all, they fall on the floor calling the cops on me. I wish cops would start investigating the people calling the cops on me. Like, drive straight to them. Make them empty out their pockets. Ask them to open their trunk. I guarantee you 90% of the time you're going to have a pretty big arrest, actually. The ones that want me out of the area the most are the ones who are the most guilty. And it's hit and miss. It's not everywhere I sit down and decide to make coffee and sleep. Sometimes I can go in an area and not be bothered at all. Other times I plop down in an area and before the first sunset, I've got whole crowds of hog hoppers just non-stop. So I don't know how to snip this anymore. I was ranting a little bit earlier, talking about the whole difference between wheat and tares, or the thistle, and how the thistle really has seemed to have freaking overrun this planet. People with talent, people who are awake and aware, they don't come out of hiding anymore. They stay under rocks, and I'm starting to see why. I'm starting to see a lot of things. It's just, it takes a low frequency to be able to see it. I remember complaining about this back in early 2016 when I was trying to signal the right Illuminati. I was looking for more like the dark elves from the movie Bright that were kicking ass and taking names, looking for the wand. That's who I was looking for. Instead, I got the freaking carnival. But I don't know how to quite word it without degrading everybody, I guess. But no, I complained about this in early 2016, that I was literally having to like meditate my frequency lower to come down out of the stratosphere a little bit to try to understand what they were doing. And it's like they paint it back to me sometimes in the Simpsons episodes. There's a freaking ton of Simpsons episodes about me now. But it was a Futurama episode that I keep getting annoyed with. And Fry was looking for this group of owls. And he couldn't find them anywhere. And then he looks down and they're like rolling around on the ground, acting retarded at his feet. And he goes, "Oh, gross." And he walks away. And that's pretty much what happened. Told these people, I don't mean the satanic Illuminati, but apparently they've seemed to have thistled out over the entire globe. But they kept showing up and just doing the most weird carnival asinine things. And I'm like, yo, stop with the weird swine charade shit and walk up to me with a plate of cookies and say hello. Like, it's not that difficult. And for whatever reason, there seems to be some sort of, I don't want to keep overusing the word metaphysical, but there does seem to be some type of barrier. Or even the most steely-balled women like Scarlett Johansson and Ruby Rose. They get so white-knuckled determined to come punch me in the lip, but they get about 100 yards from me and they stop dead in their tracks and gawk for hours on end until they come up with an excuse to turn around and leave. And that's killing me. Especially since all these drug addicts and tweakers and gremlins are giving them my lines, my power lines, my story to try to seem intelligent and cool. They were out there at Pirates Cove apparently trying to sword whip to music and stuff, and people were cheering. And I could kind of sense and feel it, so I got up and started walking towards it. And the dude on the boat with the music and the intercom said, "Oh shit, he's on his way," mumbled something to them all loud. And as I crested the little corner and rocks and stuff, I mean, there was like 6 or 7 dudes sprinting. Some back to the boat, some up to the freaking parking lot to get in their cars and leave. In front of everybody, though. These idiots talk all that shit about me, and then when I turn the corner, they're sprinting, sweating to safety. And no one calls them out on it. No one seems to mind. I mean, the first time they lied about being able to kill me. "Oh yeah, we killed him. We punched him in the face so hard he exploded." And I'm sitting at Starbucks, like, posting stuff and writing more spells. And the fact that, you know, Angelina Jolie showed up and listened to their excuse instead of pulling out a pistol and shooting them in the face. That part's, I don't know. I can't give you all of my opinion because then I'm kind of diluting and clouding the story a bit. So I'm kind of hoping I've got the right people at least tinkering into this story. But I understand, once you get a full-scale view of just how big the problem is, it generally puts a lot of people off. You think you're looking for one thing, and then all of a sudden you realize it's the entire fucking hemisphere you're looking at. It's hard to digest just how many people out there are willing to sell themselves out in an instant for a giggle. For pretending to be important as I walk by, they'll sell their souls to Satan. And then bitch and whine about it and backbite and do all this weird crime trying to cover it up. Human nature. I was talking earlier about the idea that it takes an alien to show what being more human than human actually means. And unfortunately, people, I'm not Jesus. I'm not going to passive lie in this. I will tear this entire planet to fucking shreds before I crawl up that hill. Because it's not my cup. And maybe that's where I'm in a little bit of trouble. I'm reading some of the scriptures that seem to be a bit more highlighted to me than they were before. Talking about one who betrays the Christ, and I'm not sure if that's me. Not going the passive, oh God, while I'm being martyred effect. That could be it. But pretty much everything like me that came before me took the passive route, decided to fold their hands and let it happen. Not me, though. I'm a tiger. You throw a rock at the back of my head, and I'm on your ass until you're dead. And so now I'm up against gremlins and snark. It was like earlier today, I collected some trash and went down to go get some water for coffee and tinker on the internet for a second. And like I got, I don't know, 50 feet away from my little spot here, and some dude, I could tell, man, he like stood up and put his hands on his hips like Superman and hawked out something all tough about, why don't you just go away then, or something like that. And then I heard some kid say something, well, it's quiet now. So I stopped and listened for a second to see if I could hear leaves crunching or something, but nothing. So I hollered back. I'm like, yo, does anybody back here have anything to say? Dead silence. But it's this allowance of cowardice and slug nature you people have turned into that I'm not just gonna turn a blind eye to. I'm pouring salt on you assholes until you foam up and die. Fuck you. There's so much potential for this planet, and if we had the right crop of people, it'd be planet Vulcan real quick. But right now it's planet Gremlin, so that's probably what I'm doing here. It just has to be done in a specific way. Instead of reaping the whole damn field, apparently the Lord wants us on the ground with tweezers and a little pair of scissors, snipping each and every little thistle out away from the wheat. And down to an individual level, every single person has to have their chance. So on that day, it can be just a quick flip of the switch. So like, I know a lot of you people are holding out, thinking you're going to commit all this evil and then get in front of God and explain it all the way, but this is your moment, assholes. I know from experience now that's the transition is very quick, automatic. I was reading Chronicles of Narnia, The Last Battle. Spoke of it a little bit in a cool way. But it was how at the end of the age, everything living went running towards a certain doorway. And almost like being forced to, they had to look at the lion. And as the lion was peering back at everybody, determining whether they were wild or speakable. And it was about, in the book, it's 50-50. It ain't going to be 50-50. It's going to be more like 80-20. But a lot of the animals got turned into feral wild things that no longer could speak or think, sent off to the left. And everything that had held on to the truth and doing the right thing was given upgrades and power-ups and darted to the right. I'm trying to get that moment to happen, people. The faster we get that doorway open, the quicker, better, all of it. Because this is affecting a lot more than you idiots think. The same effect where these cowards talk to their dog all mean in my presence, trying to act like, they're talking to me. I'm noticing these assholes who whisper something to their children and have their children holler out something negative, sometimes cussing. Way to raise a stand-up citizen there, pal. And it's, I don't know. It's awkward. I can see really quickly now who's guilty and who's not. Just walking up to the store and back, watching so many people just get this weird, stupid grin they can't wipe off, and they start talking faster, and they just move and fidget and do all this weird stuff. And if they're trying to talk about me, sometimes I'll rebuttal out loud, and they get all loud, trying to drown me out before whoever they were lying to me about has a chance to hear me. But it's gross to see just how many people do it, So I don't know, like I've been saying, I want to go back to doing cool shit. I want to get back to my ghost ship, actually. I've been missing that. Doing my voodoo exorcism stuff. I seem to be having a dramatic effect on this habitat in particular, across the hill and down the way a bit. This is where I started having like a family of foxes were nibbling at my toes at night. I was raising 3 families of birds. I had a group of deer, and they followed me over here apparently. But I have a group of deer that bed down for the night near me, because apparently they feel safer. They realize, I guess, if they get attacked, they run straight at me, and whatever's chasing them runs into me. It's just freaking cool, man. I love it. So I've seen other animals, like a rabbit once punked this giant gopher snake straight towards me. It was hurting it. the thing would squiggle away from me, and that rabbit went all the way around it and punked it on the head and made it turn around and come straight back towards me. And when it slithered straight at me, she like got a little relaxed and started walking back or hopping back into her bush. I thought it was the coolest thing. But that's my morning so far. Just trudging through. Let's see where we're at here. 11:47, Sunday, August 8th. Battery at 43%. Pow. Try to upload that with that, because if I don't record this shit, now I don't know, I wish sometimes I had a second recording device. Because the second I hit the record button and put this down and go back to reading my book, which I'm not joking. Where is it? Halfway through it in one go. Picked this thing up yesterday. It's pretty good. It's grabby, it's funny. I like it. Because I go through a lot of books, actually. I read quite a bit. Madeline Miller, obviously, at the top of my list. The woman that wrote Gone Girl. I guess they turned it into a movie with Batfleck. But that author is a really great author as well. But this one's just right up my alley. It's pretty much my life, except I'm not the size of a Coke machine. And I don't understand where Reacher gets all that money from. It's like whenever he's hungry, he just walks into a Denny's and orders pancakes and eggs. He just always happens to have enough money for a hotel room. And it's like, you can't ghost if you have an ATM card, because then they know exactly where you're at instantly. So that's my only thing. Maybe if they had a chapter where Reacher was a little... well, there's a lot of books. Maybe I should read all of them before I say that. Because I don't do that bad. Like, I have some upgrades of my own that help me out. But again, like, I checked 2 trash cans yesterday. I checked one early in the morning. And it feels weird. I don't like dumpster diving. But later on that day when I went back to check Wi-Fi and check on a few things and then came back through that same area, I checked the second trash can and all this food was in there. It was like an entire kitchen somebody had moving out. And all of it's sealed food. It's not like I'm eating nasty. It's like packaged cookies and stuff. And these are great, by the way. Monk Pack. You guys do awesome. They're really good cookies. Let's see. And as I was teasing yesterday, our goal through Monk Pack is to empower you to lead an active, well-balanced lifestyle. We see a world where happiness is cultivated by connecting with nature and taking good care of your body. Just for once, though, if you guys could like be truthful and say our goal through Monk Pack is to make money and empower you. These are good. Thank you for these. Yeah, that's what's going on in my day. I guess I could talk a little bit about that while we're still under the 20-minute mark. So 4 nights ago now, somebody's little feeler came out and saw me sword whipping. He said something, but I can't detail it just yet. Details. But then he got on the phone and started hogging to somebody. And he said he might as well be Gaston. And I knew right away who he must have been talking to. I think it was probably, I hate to say Batwoman, but it would be like Gaston would be the one character out of all the animated movies she would probably cringe and hate the most. So that's where I put that connection. I mean, I've been highlighting her for about a week now on Facebook. It's only right she'd spend $100 and send somebody out to see who was doing it. But the fact that he had to backbite me, and I'm pretty sure that's what all of them are doing. And none of them, either they don't care or they're too dumb. Take like Reese Witherspoon, for example. You know, as determined as she seemed to have been to at least get a hold of me. Maybe to grab me by the scruff of the neck and tell me to stop using her name, I don't know. But she sends out the wrong people. The snarky ones that shake their head and move their nose when they talk. And she trusts these maggots, and it's where it leads me to believe that all of these A-list celebrities are trapped in a weird world. It's where they all went through this gremlin charade, and some of them gave into it. Those that didn't winded up on Skid Row in LA, or were just outright capped. What happens to snitches? They end up in ditches with stitches. Thank you, Dr. Strange. Try that on me. fuck you up, as I've been doing to supposedly the all-powerful Illuminati, but not bad for a homeless guy with a stick and some loose change. I don't even have enough change to go to the store to get myself some sweetbread right now. And yet I've got half the damn planet on fire. Pop the collar. Why do you build yourself up? Well, because all the enemy's gonna do is push me down. The world will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently. Unless you're made of fire and tiger.